So we got a bit of an update here concerning what we talked about in video yesterday. The Nintendo stuff on Steam Workshop from Garry's Mod. Little announcement talking about how they got a takedown notice from Nintendo and how they got to go through 20 years worth of uploads, and they're asking people to help out, delete your Nintendo related content, get rid of it. And in my video, I talked about how I'd seen a lot of people stating that this is from a notorious DMCA troll who impersonates Nintendo and possibly other companies. I'm not going to bring up that individual's name. A lot of you guys posted it in the comments. I even had people saying, hey, delete your video. This isn't what's happening. But my video is just a ramble on, talking about what's going down, bringing up the fact that people were saying that this was a possible troll. And hey, my thought that, hey, it could possibly actually be Nintendo. We don't know. But yeah, you know, people get crazy and demand you delete videos. I didn't delete the video at all, but I did post some updates in the comments section because it was an ongoing affair. I shared my thoughts, and now we do have a little bit of an update from Garry Newman, the founder of Face Punch Studios, creator of Garry's Mod. He's the Garry and Garry, right? So late last night, 10:56 p.m., and a few minutes after I saw this, I posted it in my comments in a pinned comment. He states, yes, we've got your emails and DMs, and we've seen your feeds. Maybe he meant threads. I'm not sure what that means. We're doing our own investigations. We need to take these things seriously, particularly from Nintendo. But we also can't let people misuse DMCA takedowns. When you get like a notice from Nintendo, it doesn't matter who you are or what it's for. You know, the reaction is like, holy crap, let's take care of this. So yeah, sometimes people are going to be just jumping to the conclusion that this needs to be taken care of. We don't want no trouble from Nintendo. Nintendo's been a master at putting that fear into people with a lot of the takedowns that they've continued to do. Things that maybe aren't the biggest deal. Some things that, maybe some of us can agree, okay, yeah, Nintendo's going to Nintendo. It is what it is. They're very protective. Sometimes it just seems like things that are innocent, that aren't harming anybody, fans, the community, doing and creating things that, in my eyes, is like the fans and just general people out there, they're not going to create Nintendo-related stuff for a game that's built on just modding, and you're not like making money off of it. It's just like, hey, a sandbox game. These people aren't going to be doing this if they weren't celebrating Nintendo and their characters. Maybe there's some exceptions. Maybe there's people who are making fun of Nintendo or talking crap about Nintendo and using their properties in a way to do that, which I think is fine as well. Doesn't really freaking matter. But I think the vast majority who utilize, like, say, Mario or Pokemon, Luigi, that kind of stuff in their mods, in their fan art, in their fan games, they're celebrating Nintendo. They enjoy it, and they're not really getting anything off of it, right? But yeah, people are going to react, get scared of Nintendo, put out these statements like they did on Garry's Mod about how like they need to scrub through this 20 years worth of content. But, at the same time, you got to be cautious. You got to look at it like, let's think of this as if it is legitly from Nintendo. Is legitly a word? Legit from Nintendo. Or, while you're like, hey, we got to get ahead of this, we need to make sure this isn't a misuse of a DMCA takedown. So now, just a few hours ago, 3 hours ago, I believe it was around 7:30 a.m., Garry did post this update. I've been assured that the takedowns have been verified by Nintendo as legit. So this will now continue as planned. Sorry. And he's the hand pushing the mushroom into the waste bin, the trash can. It's kind of funny, but messed up at the same time. I saw this earlier, and I'm like looking at the responses and stuff. Yeah, people being in denial, people demanding that Garry Newman prove it. Like, what does he need to prove? Like, do you think he wants to deal with this? Do you think he wants his company to deal with this crap? But there is a lot of comments like demanding answers, demanding that they prove it, that they show paperwork or something. and I keep seeing this. You fell for that at mm-Nintendo domain, but I've seen somebody look at the who is and find it's, there's not really anything weird about it, just because it's not like a straight Nintendo thing. I think the I forget what it stands for, but it's like a company on behalf of them, I believe. Let me see if I could find it. But there's people who brought it up. People continually saying that it's a false DMCA claim, that they're not real, that Nintendo's not doing this. Did you confirm with an actual official Nintendo person and not the Aaron Peters? Like, if it yeah, that's, I wasn't gonna bring up the name, but that's the name a lot of people were bringing up. Could just be a fake name that the person uses. The email used in the DMCA notices literally match up with a similar fraud from 3 years ago. This can't be legit. You failed us, Garry. You let the troll win. I'm disappointed and appalled that you've let the troll win. You let the Garry's Mod apocalypse happen. It's all your fault. Oy. That I mean, I don't like Twitter. I don't like X, whatever you call this. I try not to do too much like reading of posts on here because, there's so much weirdness that goes on. But you start, if you see enough people questioning something like this, like, it's still, he says it was verified, but then you have a million people saying it's not verified, it's a troll, it's a troll. Some people just start like believing it. Like, okay, the guy who runs the company and who went through, verifying this, he's wrong. And then people just believe it. I mean, I'm starting to have some doubts here myself, but regardless of how it went down, he says that it was verified. And that's unfortunately what it is. But there was some information here in some of these comments that were talking about the who is data. I don't remember exactly where it was at, but where it showed it was a company that Nintendo works with, and it's a company that deals with handling stuff like that, DMCAs and copyright protections and IP stuff. It can still look a little deceiving, I guess. I'm gonna try to find it, see if I could pull it up. So I just pulled up the who is data for the mm-nintendo.com that plenty of people were, questioning, right? And the registrar is Mark Monitor. When you look into Mark Monitor Inc., they're a company that works on behalf of other companies to protect their brand, their copyrights, their intellectual property. They file claims, all sorts of stuff, right? And they are working on behalf of Nintendo of America. All the information is here, but people still believe this is false, that it's a DMCA troll, regardless of, Garry Newman stating that it's been verified. I mean, it could be a really big, effort from this troll to make it seem verified, all this stuff. I don't know, but I mean, I'm going to take his word for it that it's been verified. He works for the company. He's the Garry from, Garry's Mod, but people still are questioning or denying it. Even after I posted updates on my previous video, people saying things like Garry Newman has nothing to do with Garry's Mod anymore. He hasn't even played the game in years. He hasn't done anything with it, but he's still, the founder of Face Punch Studios. He's still over there. I mean, maybe he's for sure working on other things, but he's still part of that company, and he put out those statements. So I tend to kind of just go, by what he says. But it may be an ongoing story. We may find out in the end that it was just an elaborate troll. Who knows? But there you go. That's the update. That's the info. Thanks for watching. Bye.